The former Ukip leader said Prime Minister Theresa May doesn't really believe in Brexit, and is only carrying out the divorce because of the EU referendum result in 2016. Britain has already conceded too much money, authority to the European Court of Justice, and even betraying the UK's fishing communities, according to Mr Farage. Speaking in Strasbourg, he told MEPs, For Brexit voters, this whole thing is a slow, endless agony. We didn't vote for a transition deal, we voted to leave. I'm not in the least bit surprised intransigence of Barnier and the EU's negotiating team. They have got to defend their empire, which, of course, is coming under sustained assault from voters everywhere, in particular the wonderful results in Hungary. EbSBrexit news, Nigel Farage warns heading for very bad post-Brexit deal for Brexit voters. This whole thing is a slow, endless agony. Nigel Farage. But in the face of all of this, the British have rather blinked, and you get the impression the Prime Minister doesn't really believe in Brexit. She's just carrying out the will of the people. I'm concerned we are heading for a really very bad deal from a British perspective. We've already conceded too much money, too much authority, the European Court of Justice, betraying our fishing communities and open door immigration. The primary reason we voted Brexit continues with no end in sight. We're heading for Brexit in name only, so I'm pretty frustrated, but it wasn't all doom and gloom for Mr Farage, who was also keen to share in the delight of the continued failures to reverse Brexit. Several campaign groups have pushed for a second referendum but all failed to deliver, including Best for Britain, which is backed by billionaire businessman George Soros. Mr Farage added, there is one bit of really good news, the George Soros-funded attempt, headed up by Tony Blair and others, to get the British to have a second referendum. The old trick which was attempted on Denmark and Ireland in the past has now run into the ground. There isn't going to be a second referendum and we are going to leave on March 29th. Next year, the historic break is coming, and once we're a sovereign country once again, we will be able to unpick this mess, so there is more good news than bad news.